Congratulations to future Defensive Player of the Year, Bam Adebayo. Future Defensive Player of the Year, Bam Adebayo. 22 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 1 for 1 from the three-pointer. Locked down Anthony Davis with some mystery hip spasm? Hip spasm. Okay. First 2020 triple-double in Heat franchise history. Let's go. Rocking my Jimmy Butler shirt because Jimmy Butler finally had a good game. Great game from the Heat. We will talk about... Oh, leaf blowers. Great. Leaf blowers. Fantastic. Well, okay. Well, you know what? That's fitting because it's interesting how the second I mentioned fourth quarter, I get tortured by leaf blowers, and we're talking about something that has collectively tortured us as Heat fans the entire season, and that's fourth quarter performances. So we'll get to the fourth quarter, believe me. Right from the get-go, you could tell that there was a definite playoff atmosphere in this game, which didn't surprise me because the Heat and the Lakers are both in positions right now where they need wins. You have the whole history of LeBron being on Miami. You have the whole history of a pretty good rivalry between Jimmy and LeBron, who've definitely had some good battles in the past. And then you have AD and Bam, who are definitely, candidates for Defensive Player of the Year. There was definitely some stakes going into this game, and you could tell that the players knew it too, because just the first half of this game alone was just high-level, intense basketball. It was beautiful to watch. I keep kind of getting lost as to like what I even want to talk about, because there's really like two different games. You have the first 3 quarters, which were overall, as a Heat fan, beautiful. I mean, you can't really ask for much more. Were they perfect? No, but they were really, really nice. I mean, we were going into the fourth quarter up 11. And then the fourth quarter is a whole other conversation. So I guess we'll just run down the first 3 quarters and what we saw. There was a pace that the Heat played with, an urgency, a togetherness, and you could see how effective this team can be when they are healthy and fully functioning and figure out their dynamic, and each player is playing their right role. Like Jaime Jaquez, perfect example of the last couple games of how he's coming into his role. Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler are gonna have to step up, and all 3 of those guys are gonna probably have to have pretty big games. Especially when we're playing a pretty formidable team like the Lakers. Kind of like a big 3 kind of scenario. That's kind of been the buzz after this game. I'm all for a big 3, Jimmy, Tyler, Bam, big 3 kind of scenario. I'm fine with that. And we saw that, and we saw how effective it can be. How about Jimmy and Bam starting off with 3-pointers? Jimmy and Bam, a combined 4 for 5 from 3. That's fun. I know Tyler wasn't super efficient, but he still had 22 points. They still combined for, I think, like 74, was it 74 points? 72 points. Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler combined for 72 points. They combined for 34 points at halftime. That's great to see. You had a solid Kyle. I know, people that don't, this is gonna sound kind of mean, and this might hurt some people's feelings, but people who don't comprehend basketball don't appreciate how good and important a guy like Kyle Lowry is. There's more to basketball than a stat line. There are certain things that a player can bring to a team that are not necessarily quantifiable in a stat line, and Kyle is that guy. Yes, he only had 5 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists in 33 minutes. But as I always say, it's the intangibles. I mean, that charge that he took on LeBron James at the end of the fourth quarter, I mean, that was a game-saving play right there. So shout out to Kyle. Haywood, solid, had the highest plus-minus. And once again, not a huge stat line, but still important. Duncan was great. 12 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal in 26 minutes. Jaime Jaquez, man, he continues to be great. Great defense. I mean, think about this kid already has guarded like Giannis, Tatum, LeBron, and Edwards, and he's, what are we, 7 games in? And this guy's guarded some of the best players in the world already, and he's held his own, all things considering. There was one stretch he guarded and stopped LeBron from scoring, and then stole the ball from LeBron 2 possessions in a row. Really is starting to figure out what his role is on the team. Third quarter continues to be really nice. We're just playing solid basketball through here. AD like comes and then leaves and comes back and leaves. He was really never there after the second quarter. And that actually worried me, because you know how this Heat team operates. I would much rather have a healthy AD and LeBron and a healthy full roster Lakers than to not have their stars playing. Because the Heat absolutely play better when teams have their stars playing than without. Even last year against the Lakers, we beat the Lakers with AD and LeBron, then we lost to the Lakers without AD and LeBron, and Dennis Schroeder scored like 32 points against us. That's happened time and time again. So I was worried when AD went out. Poor Austin Reeves. I mean, first of all, shout out to Austin Reeves. You know, I give credit where credit's due. The kid had 23 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, played 40 minutes. Kid's a tough dude, tough Arkansas boy. But there's these 2 clips, maybe I can find them, of him getting just abused in the paint by Jimmy and Bam. And I'm just like, you know, props to Austin for even having the audacity to get down there with Jimmy and Bam, 2 of like the strongest, toughest pound for pound guys in the NBA. And him being down there, even attempting to do anything against those guys in the paint. But I'm just like, how is this happening to Austin Reeves? Like, where's the rest of your team? Like, why is Austin Reeves getting matched up like that in the paint? Yeah, I'm skirting over the first 3 quarters because, you know, it was overall really nice basketball. But let's get to this 4th quarter here. First thing I have, sustain and close out. That didn't happen. The other weird thing about this game was like, what was up with the refs? And these techs, there was like at least, I don't know how many technical fouls, 7, 8 technical fouls, and they were just such strange, petty technical fouls. I don't know, I guess people were like talking too much. I don't know. It was kind of weird, kind of annoying. It's like you come back from commercial and it's like, oh, D'Angelo Russell got ejected? What? How did that happen? The weird thing about this 4th quarter was that we pretty much didn't score for, I don't know, I think around the last like 3 or so minutes, 4 minutes. So on one hand, that's bad. On the other hand, we did that and still managed to win the game. So on one part, it's like you're falling apart, but on the other hand, you're kind of showing such grit to win the game despite having awful offense, horrific turnovers. I mean, I think this is the 2nd game in a row, I heard, that we had like 9 turnovers in the 4th quarter. We did it against the Wizards also. That's really bad. And, you know, sometimes I get it. Like, sometimes your shot just isn't falling. Now, I don't know if that's a coincidence, a mental thing, a physical thing. Are you physically tired? Are you mentally tired? Are you just, you know, was the first half so intense that you were just exhausted by the 4th quarter? Because the Lakers were missing a lot of shots too in that stretch of the 4th quarter. That stretch of the 4th quarter just got very chaotic and ugly. I am really proud of Jimmy and Bam, how they played great defense on LeBron on that last possession. Jimmy, great defense on him. Bam had great weak side help defense and forced LeBron to kick it out to Cam Reddish, who missed. But I just want to run down just to show you guys how bad our 4th quarters have been. Just bear with me here. I'm going to go back to Pistons game. So Pistons, first game of the season. We lose that 4th quarter against the Pistons 27-20. Okay, so there's one bad 4th quarter. Celtics, game 2. We lose 32-23. Another bad 4th quarter. 3rd game, Timberwolves. Now, that game we were all beat up and hurt still. We lost 26-17 that quarter. That's first 3 games, bad 4th quarters. Then we had that crazy Bucks game where the opposite happened and we had a weird lineup in there and went absolutely nuts the 4th quarter. That was kind of an outlier. We beat the Bucks 41-25 that 4th quarter, so that's kind of an outlier. And then right back to it. The Nets game, we lose 34-22 in the fourth quarter. Okay? Wizards game, we lose 33-20 in the fourth quarter. And then the Lakers game, we lose 28-18 in the fourth quarter. So this Lakers game, you could argue that, they were just missing shots, but there's no excuse. The 9 turnovers is no excuse. The question is, why is it happening? Is it the lineups? Is it the rotations? Is it mental fatigue? Is it physical fatigue? Is it? I don't know. I haven't really. I listened to a bunch of podcasts and Heat podcasts, and this is what everybody's talking about. And people have all different theories, and all of them seem pretty viable. But really, I think at the end of the day, it's up to them. It's just them having to be more just disciplined. I think it's also going to help a lot more once Caleb Martin comes back. And he's healthy. I think he's a guy who's going to really help them in the fourth quarter. We'd have a much better record than 3-4 probably if we weren't imploding in the fourth quarter. Happy with this team, happy with this game. The fourth quarter meltdowns, all as stressful as they are, I'm not that worried about it. Just like I wasn't worried about some of these goofy losses that we had early on in the season. I think this is stuff that we're going to get figured out. It'll get ironed out. I'm sure that this is the main concern of the team right now. I'm sure they're watching tape of this and analyzing it and trying to figure out what is happening in these fourth quarters and why is it happening. And they'll figure it out. I'm not worried. This was a great win. It's a statement win, as they say. It's always nice to beat the Lakers. I mean, say we won against the Lakers. It's the Lakers. It's LeBron. It's AD, and beating the Lakers, it's a good confidence boost. It'll boost your confidence way more than beating the Wizards, especially that first 3 quarters. Like once again, that first 3 quarters, man, that's a nice sample of the seeing the potential that this team has. And I still think there's even more of a ceiling. As much as I like Thomas Bryant, I'm also interested in what Kevin Love can do in as a backup big second unit kind of rotation guy. If Kevin Love played those 10 minutes that Thomas Bryant played today, I'd like to see what that looks like. It was great to see Bam have one of his best games of his career. Jimmy Butler, that's a solid, nice regular season Jimmy Butler kind of game, a quiet 28. Only Jimmy Butler can have 28 points and be like, huh, he had 28? Where did that come from? Tyler, not so efficient, 22 points though. He was solid. Kyle, very happy with Kyle. Huge play in the end, game-saving play in the end, taking that charge against LeBron. Hayward was solid, great defense. Duncan continues to be so valuable. Right now, probably the 4th best player on the team. And Jaime continues to be a huge asset. Very happy, very happy. I'm so glad that we won this game and we didn't blow it. Because look, I'm not gonna lie, like the way that fourth quarter went, I mean, we are very lucky to have won that game. And that's about it.